Hello, hello, hello. We are back for episode 2 of using up your 12 by 12 papers. So, what we have this week is a folio, I guess is what you'd still call it. I saw this on Gail Augustinelli's channel. She did say who she saw it from, but I don't recall who that was. But I watch Gail a lot. And actually, I was flipping through my book and realized that there's another one of her one-page wonders that is not in my book that I need to add. So, but this is what we've got. So this will be a pocket. And again, this is just thin paper that I used to make the demonstration. So I didn't bulk out my idea book any more than necessary. But this pocket glues down. It's got a closing flap. It opens up here. This is a pocket. Opens out, so you have all this writing space here. Or you can glue this pocket here and here and maybe put a thumb notch up here, and then this could be another pocket if you don't want the writing space. So that's one variation. And then on the back, you also have, this will be a pocket here, and then this will be a pocket here. So you can do this directional. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But it changes things up, because otherwise what's going to end up happening is all of your lettering is upside down. If you do it, you just have to do your paper in a different direction. If you want it to be, if you're using directional paper, which some of these that I have in this stack are definitely directional. So we'll see how much my brain fights against this, because I think that not only do I need to have hold on, I'm double checking this. Because normally you would start with this side, your bottom pockets up top. But if your paper is directional, when you fold those up, your words are going to be upside down. So if you turn your paper, let me get one of my other ones out. And I may mess this up when I do more of these. So instead of having your paper this way with this being your top, or what it has you do is put the bottom of your paper, and then you score your first two and this makes your pockets, but then you flip them, they'd be upside down. So you have to turn it this way in order for the bottom pockets to then flip the correct way. So you need the upright at the top. Additionally, if you want your image to be on the outside, you can just score it on the back. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this doesn't hurt my brain any more than it does yours, or hurt your brain any more than it does mine. Gail really struggled with this too. She's like, "Hi, this," she said multiple times, "This hurts my brain. This hurts my brain," and she messed up the first one that she cut too. And this is one that I'm like, what did I do wrong there? I messed up like 3 times trying to even just cut this sample out. So I have a bunch of scraps over there as a result. Okay, so I do have all of these papers that I'm going to do off camera. As you can see, some of them are definitely directional. This one, not so much. You can go either way. This one, it's got arrows going in both directions, so I would not consider that directional, but definitely directional. Is somewhat directional. Well, I guess not, because you got upside down. You got animals going in both directions, so no. But this is definitely a directional piece. So I'm going to set these aside for now, because I will be doing those off camera. Because I'm doing this in bulk to get these listed in my Etsy shop. So for now, this is where we're at. Okay, so you're going to take your 12 by 12. And these are all coffee stained on the back, since they are single-sided. If you have a double-sided paper, you got to keep that in mind too, as to where which image you want facing out, and make sure that both of them are going in the direction that you want them to be in. All right, so put your paper down. This one, it doesn't matter which one's top or which one's bottom, so I'm not going to worry too much about that part, but I want my image to be on the outside, so we're going to turn it face down. You're going to score at 4 1/8, 8 1/4. It's 4 1/8, 8 1/4. And you're going to spin this 90 degrees. And remember, this is your bottom. If it helps you, just put with a pencil, just put a little B there. I found that by the third time I was doing this, I had to do that, or I was so confused. So after you turn the 90 degrees, you're going to score at 3 1/2, and again at 9. So it's 3 1/2 and 9. Okay. So there's all your score lines. I'm going to do the other two while I'm got this scoreboard out. Again, this, I don't see that it really matters which way is going to be top or bottom. So face down, 4 1/8. 8 1/4, almost at 8 1/2. And again, I'm going to label this as the bottom. What the heck is that? Turn. 3 1/2. And 9. Okay. This one, little more directional, but not by much. You got moths flying that way, butterfly. I mean, they're kind of flying in all different directions. So I'm not going to worry about what direction things are going in on this one either. So again, face down, 4 1/8, 8 1/4, 90-degree spin. I'm going to label this as my bottom. We're going to score at 3 1/2 and 9. Put your scoreboard away. Back to my first one. Now you're going to orient your paper so that your bottom, there it is. I'm like, where's my little B? So that your bottom is facing you, it's closest to you. And you're going to cut this line here. You're going to cut this line here. You're going to cut this top square completely out. And you're going to cut this score line here. Now, if you've been doing junk journals for a while, you know the importance of cutting that little triangle that little slim triangle, and you're cutting out, essentially you're cutting out that score line. This is a very personal choice, I guess, on how you do this. Some people prefer to cut the cut. Some people go up straight at the line and then do slivers off of each side. That is entirely up to you. But from watching Miss Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, I have found that this is what works best for me. I fold my paper up to that score line, and then with my scissors, I just take that small little sliver, and I'm accomplishing all three at the same time. I'm cutting out the score line, as well as cutting that sliver down both sides. I went a little far on that one. Whoops. So I'm going to go this way because I can see my line better on the white side. So I know when to stop, you know. So again, I just folded it on that score line. Get your scissors. Just cut the smallest little sliver. And then you've got that gap. Okay, got this one. Again, we're cutting this top one completely out. And you can see I'm not cutting very much off, just a sliver. And then on this one, just this score line. Oh, what's going? Aha! Like, how am I getting black on this? My black dauber is hanging out over there. I keep brushing up against it, apparently. Okay, cutting out the tiny little sliver. Okay. So you should have something that looks like this. 3 separate little flaps here. Your centerpiece. This little flappy here. And this square cut out. Okay. Let's do those other 2. I swear, some days I'm blinder than others. I can see the score line on this one. Just up to that score line. Next one. Then we're going to take this top rectangle out. This one you might have been able to just cut it and not worry about the score lines, but you know, for continuity purposes. And then this score line right here, we're cutting out. Right to there. Okay. There's two. Last one. So again, find your bottom. Make sure you're oriented correctly. And cut out cut between these on these score lines on your bottom. Your two, and you're cutting just to that first score line. Then this side. Okay. So if you are a good cutter, you could just go here. You're cutting just to the side. See, and I can't cut straight. And then just below, and I can't even see it. So, Danya, I'm not good at that. This is way easier for me to do it this way. And I'm cutting once instead of 3 or 4 or 10, depending on how many times it takes me to get a semi-straight line. And then this one, where's my square line? There it is. Okay. That's the end of the cutting with scissors. So again, this is what you should have. Square cut out the right top left score line cut out, and on your bottom, you've got your score lines cut out here and here. So let's move 2 to the side. I guess we're working with this one. I'm like, what did I get left behind? All right, so for the sake of, never mind, I'll say for the sake of measuring, but no, I'm going to use my zeroing out ruler. If you don't have one of these, that's really nice finding. Sorry, all of a sudden I needed a drink really bad. For finding the center of things. So you've got a 0 here. So I start out with 2, but then it's only 1 5/8. So I slide until it's even on both sides. And it's at the 1 3/16. And then I mark. There's that center. This one's like 2 1/32. So there's my center. This should be the same as that one, but you never know. Because it's not. 2 1/16. And then you're going to thumb notch this outer edge here as well. So you want to measure that center. One 7/16. Okay. There's my center. Now I'm going to take my puncher. I like using this. I learned this from Ink Paper Arts. I think is the name of her channel. She's currently doing 365 days of junk journaling tips. I will link her channel in the description box just so other people can go check it out. But what did I do there? What I did there was not pay attention. Okay. Well, for continuity purposes, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I use this punch to do my notches. And normally I go right here to the bottom, just get that bottom curve. What I did was actually went up to this first notch on accident without realizing it. So I ended up with this shape instead of that half moon. It's the only difference. All right, so let's get all these foldings done. This pocket folds over on that score line. This one up on that score line. This up that score line. This up on this score line. Wait a minute, what is going on here? Interesting. I see what I did. This was my mistake. So in my initial writing, I said to cut this one out. You don't do that because now I don't have a flap. But I'm not going to sweat about it too much. Now this is where you check in your folds. If you're folding stuff over and it's not folding straight, you probably need to trim some more out somewhere. I'm going to need to trim both of those ones. Not by much. Now we can fold you over. So because I goofed up on the cutting of this one, I'm going to change the way we fold it. So rather than this folding in, this folding in, and this folding back, or this folding back and this folding back, and then you got this flip here and supposed to be a lip or a flap here. I'm going to fold them in this way, because this side's smaller. I'm still hanging up, so I need to trim, but I'll fold this way, and then this will be my flap. So before we start gluing anything down, though, we got to figure out where we're going to put our closures. So I am using these magnets. I said in a previous video that I didn't, I suck at measurements, so I didn't realize how small they were. But they're also not very strong. So the ones that I've made so far, okay, go stick to my scissors, then I won't lose you. Because these little boogers are small, and when I drop them, I have a really hard time finding them. I don't want you guys together, though. Stay in your own parts of my scissors. So because I'm closing it this way, I want the magnet on the inside flap of this one and the flap here. So, but I do want it far enough down that the magnet isn't visible. I want it inside the pocket here. Hope that makes sense. So I want to put it as far up as I can up here. So then the overlap is right there. So I got that much room to put in a magnet. Not a problem. Now this is a fun little exercise in how I do magnets, you didn't watch my last video anyway. I think a 1/2 inch should suffice. I was going back. I'm like, why am my brain not working? Because my ruler was upside down, so my my math numbers were going backwards. So move this back down. Eight. Sure, those are gonna. That should work. Okay. Now what I do is, because I made one of these and I actually got the magnets on backwards. So they're either positive to positive or positive to negative. I'm not sure which, but I had to make a belly band for a closure because it won't stay closed. So I magnet them together, one on each side. Put a dab of glue. Where I just marked. And then I slide those magnets in place. Okay. Now you want to cover these because you don't, when you're sliding things in and out of the pockets, you don't want them getting stuck on stuff. Sorry, I was reaching for some of my scraps that are off to the side over there. You're not going to see this, so it doesn't matter what you're covering it with. I've been using these scrap cutoffs off of book edges. They don't even have to be perfectly circle. If you've got, part of it missing, it's only half circle. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have coverage over that magnet all the way around on all edges. Turn this around. Oh, at least they landed in my lap and not on the floor. Now, this last one's really off, so I'm not going to keep that one. And they have one book, page 1 left. So I just glue the circle, put it over the magnet, glue a second circle, over the magnet, clean the glue off my finger here, give it a squish. Sometimes it's going to want to lift and raise and buckle and, because again, you're trying to attach over a not flat surface. The most important thing though is this leading edge where you're going to be feeding stuff into the pocket. You want to make sure that is very secured because that's the edge that's going to get the most use, the most abuse as a pocket. Okay. Now we're going to put it on the inside of this pocket. So at this point, I scoot these magnets off, and these magnets are not very strong. Unfortunately, I didn't learn that in time, but I have 100 of them, so I'm going to use them. If once I get the cards and stuff put in here, if by chance they don't close once they're all the pockets are filled, I'll go back in and make belly bands or some sort of closure. So I close this as if it's going to be closed, the way it's going to be closed, and then I drop the magnet in there, and you'll see it instantly grabs onto this one. Now this is going to be a little tricky because I can't open the pocket on this side. And I will be writing measurements down on this in just a second. Because I need to see, and I got to do this 3 times, unfortunately. I mean, why I'm fussing over that. Okay, so we are (11/16) by 2 3/8. And again, this part's going to be tricky, but we're going to keep moving on. So I'm assuming we're going to be at the same distance. This way it should be, because it was on the same distance from the so 11/16. So it should cross right there. And then I'm going to double check it by closing up. Oh no. No. Yes, that's right. Darn it. I panicked for a minute thinking I was putting those in the wrong spot, on the wrong panel. So I'm just going to drop one down there. It should grab. Didn't want you to grab each other. Oh my gosh. Got to get it past the first magnet. Oh, it's way off. the other one go? There it is. I'm telling you, these things are hard to keep track of. They're very little. So glue here, glue here. Oh. Like the magnet is glued to my finger. Okay. And then I put it in there and I shake them around so that they stick in the right spot. Because they're sticking exactly where these magnets are matching up. Again, make sure that leading edge is secured. I mean, you want it to be secured all the way around, but okay. Not sure what cut do I want to ink. And if so, what color do I want to ink in? I don't think we're going to ink because a lot of it's black. You're not, oh, yeah, I am. So how about, hold on. Back to truck. I just realized that my book was over there leaning on my ink daubers. Like, no transfer. So I'm just working through trying to get through some of my paper, my ink pads, my older ones. So while a lot of this is black and you're not going to see it, you will see it on the white. Boom, boom. ACDC. Do this line and this line. Okay, out this outside of this pocket. This pocket. Flip it over. Inking also covers up when your paper decides it wants to crack a little bit. I like this one. See some of that white core there. Some papers do, some papers don't. It seems I've tried like every trick in the book for some papers. You know, a lot of people swear by scoring on both sides. I have not found that that has made a significant difference for me. But all right, so gluing. We're going to start by gluing this pocket. Oh, 47 minutes. I'm not going to get to do the other two on screen. Okay, fold that over. And flip. My glue is being very staggy. Oh, I needed to trim that edge a little bit. Which means it's going to need inked again, just slightly, because it's not black, you know, black background, so you can't really see it anyway. Okay, those ones look good. This side needs to be trimmed. And again, I'm taking like literally a sliver. Can't even really see it. And I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Just a tiny itty bitty little sliver. And you're just taking off enough so that when you fold your pockets, they don't butt up against each other and there's room for them to fold. I don't usually have to do a whole lot of that, but I must not, when I cut it out shabby dabby doo-dah style, I must not have cut out enough. Okay, and you're going to glue up this side, this side. If your glue trails like mine just did, make sure that you get that little webbing, otherwise you're going to glue your pocket closed. That one's down. And glue here. Glue here. See, your pocket covers up where your magnets are at. This first one I've done with the magnets. Okay, I will not be doing any of these further ones with these magnets because, as you can see, they're not holding at all. They're making contact, but then as soon as I lift my fingers, they let go. So, off to my little strippies here. This is going to be going out as a premiere. So, but I wish you guys were with me now to help me decide on a belly band color. I kind of like the brown one. These are branding strips off 12 by 12 paper pads. Some of the pads that I have them and others don't. So I'm just going to create a belly band to go around. I do want to leave a little bit of room, because again, I'm going to be putting stuff in those pockets before I list them for sale. Okay. I'm going to run around this real quick with my brown dauber just to get rid of that white core. What's that sound? Here it comes. Hot shoes burning down the avenue. Just going to put a little bit of glue right here on the end. Glue that down. And now we have the belly band to hold it closed. So I will not be making any will not be using magnets on any more of these ones. Oh, I can't get to my clips. Got my activities and stuff all over there. Oh, and I went around the corners, at least on the slow flappy part. What is in here that's... Let's pull the sheet back. Now, if you happen to have good magnets and you choose to do this, if you're going to curve, if you're going to corner around it, I suggest you do it before you put the magnets in. Makes things a lot easier to do. Inking those corners that I did. In, over. And a belly band to close it. Ta-da! So thanks for tuning in for that. I now know that I can only get, at least of these multi-fold ones, I can only get one done in an hour. But I will be scoring and cutting that entire stack. And you'll see those in the premiere next weekend. Until next time, bye.